So the current and future trends in medical education. The future comes as an extension of the past. So many things have happened which have been told to you just now. And I will just look into certain roadmaps for coming 10 years. The trends in medical education are just like ladies' fashion. It comes in cycles. It creates a hype, goes, but it is changing. We had Guru Shishya Parampara, the apprenticeship model long back, didactic lectures, large group, small group, and many other uh, methods which we have been taught in FAMER fellowships and various uh, medical education workshops. Online teaching has come. A buzzword, mentorship has come, which is a kind of modern version of Guru Shishya Parampara. And now where we have technology, we are looking into the humanistic approach or the ATCOM approach, where we have to make everything the little bit more humanistic. We feel that doctors are becoming more and more uh, dehumanized, or uh, there is a need for rehumanizing them again. So, what is a trend? According to me, a trend is something, especially in the context of medical education, it is something which benefits or which brings a change. Being a pathologist, I happen to learn a lot of things related to pathology, and in pathology, we are quite conversant with genetics. A single gene which changes its structure leads to changes in the cell around, then the organ around, and then the body around it. Similarly, in society, there is a single person like Osama bin Laden who changes, moves to Afghanistan, then metastasizes to New York. Or if you read the phenomena of development of Hitler, it was just a one thought process in his mind, and that engulfed whole of Germany. Seeing the positive side, Mahatma Gandhi involved in a certain process in South Africa, in involved uh, made all the people there. They started the movement there, came to India, and the whole that same thought process involved the whole country. It was just one single gene or one single person at the microscopic and macroscopic level. So there is a correlation between what is happening at the microscopic and macroscopic level. Uh, a topic for research at a different level. But what in my biodata, sir has spoken that energocybernetics, I'm not speaking from something original. It is the energocybernetics which teaches me this. And I would suggest that some of you who are really interested should have a shot at it. So the objectives of this today's lecture is to highlight the implications of importance of digital orientation and some make a roadmap for the coming decade. And something is going to happen in the coming decade, and India is going to have the best medical education system in the world in next 5 to 10 years. How many of you agree? Open your Slido app in your mobile phones and type the code 69179 and type it here. Just choose the questions. All of you have been asked to download the Slido app.
Hello, what is the app, sir? Can you tell it once more?
Slido. So we have 8 responses so far. The maybe is taking, we have 16 responses. We are a class of 147 right now. So please, all of you respond. At least majority of you should respond. This is approximately the same size of the class as we have normally in any, this methodology can be used in any class. Even if in a live class, you can just show it on the screen, and the audience response system is there in the mobile phone of every student. No need of any spending a few $1,000s. It's your ordinary mobile phone is now a student interactive system. It can be replicated in all the 500 medical colleges of India.
Roughly 1/5 have participated.
Yes. So I think maybe the maybe is okay. So the maybe is taking. So we move forwards. So we are in a pandemic situation, and what are the benefits of having a pandemic in education? Please answer this question. You can write it 1 word, 2 words, or maybe multiple responses. No, not 69179 is the code of for those who are doing one for the first time. No benefits, adapting to technology. Okay. What else? This is a word cloud which is becoming. It is becoming a word cloud. So technology adaptation has been answered by multiple people, so it becomes prominent. So you can see the responses. There is an integration of technology in medical education. E-learning is happening. I started using Zoom way back in 2015, and at that time it was a factor, aha factor. Now it is compulsory for everyone to learn it. And if it seems that the pandemic is going to continue for at least another 1 or 2 years, so we don't have a choice other than adapting to e-learning, other than adapting to technology, other than adapting to what Dr. Shashidhar has shown, what Dr. Vinay has shown. We don't have a choice. We have to do it if the pandemic stays for next 2 or 3 years. These are the benefits. There might be some. We are moving in innovation on warp speed, and I'm sure in the coming 5 to 10 years, India is going to move in a direction which is a leadership in the world in medical education. And don't tell me I didn't invite you. Those who want to join the bandwagon should join now. It is going to happen. So I think 42 people have responded, and you can all see their responses. Learning. So this again, all those issues of having a student interactive response and everything, you all know all these points. You are in different parts of the country, some around the world. So we are in a warp drive into the future. The next 10 years are game changer. The pandemic is accelerating innovation, and learning is in the cloud is the new normal. As Even if you are in the same medical college, even if you are in the same class, even if you are in the hostel, whatever, the most convenient way is learning in the cloud. And a good uh, computer staff should be available in every college, which has not happened. Somehow, despite everything, the availability of staff, trained staff, what we have now is data entry operators. So 2020 to 2030 is going to be a great transformation decade. The change which is going to occur in coming 10 years is going to be greater than last 100 years. Earlier gradually, and now suddenly we are moving towards online learning and training, triggered by the pandemic. There is video and virtual conferencing, telehealth, telemedicine. I mean, we used to attend it 10 years or 15, technology was always available. Now, for the first time, government has made it legal, and certain rules and regulations of around telehealth and telemedicine are there. E-commerce, online media, work from home is the new normal. Many companies have asked their staff to work from home whole of 2021. And this is happening not just in medical science. This is happening in every branch. You know, when COVID came, we suddenly started having maps of the entire state and the country at every level that, okay, this is the map of COVID on this particular day. Geographical information system was available since decades, but now it is being used for health on a daily basis. And similarly, gamification, robotic care, artificial intelligence, 3D medical devices, 3D. Recently, I attended a workshop from Nanopore in Bangalore. I mean, they just take your sweat, find out what is the genetic structure of the bacteria or virus in that sweat or blood, and in 45 minutes they'll tell you this is the virus or bacteria or fungus in your blood or sputum or whatever, and just match it with, there is reverse engineering of disease. And this is an Indian technology in the some in Bangalore. So this is where our students should go. At least our quite often in most medical colleges, when they say yearly educational trip, they go to Goa. They should be sent to the uh, best uh, medical brains of the country. And this is a fork in the road movement, the education for the new world. We have to, either we can go back and die, or move towards a beautiful future which is coming. We have, all we have to do is accept the challenge. So I think at this stage, now we move into a breakout room. You all, I'll be converting all of you into some breakout rooms, and so I'm making 20 breakout rooms of all the 143 participants currently. And what you have to do, you have to discuss, there will be 7 participants in each breakout room, and you have to discuss amongst yourself what we have just taught, we have just discussed about the benefits and the coming decade. What can we do here itself? So what I was saying, that all these problems of infrastructure in all the 500 medical colleges solved right now. I mean, you can have small group teaching, you can have discussions, case-based discussions, infrastructure, no rooms, this, that, whatever is there, everything gets solved. Education had a long shelf life. Now we are in just-in-time education, and basically till 1 year ago, nobody knew anything about COVID. Now we have COVID specialists in every college. We have an RT-PCR lab in every medical college. So this just-in-time medical education is moving very fast. Education was in classrooms, medical colleges, online education requiring just a computer and an internet connection or a mobile phone, and we move forwards. So at least the knowledge component and to some the cognitive component can be shifted, and some part, the psychomotor part, we have to figure out ways. Dr. Vinay Kumar has for this even created a website called iHuman. I'm grateful to him to making me a part of that, creating that experience, and a large part of it input from in that website is Indian. So anything that can be automated will be automated in coming few years. You can't avoid it; it will be there. We are moving forward at warp speed. So, but when everything gets automated, then a meeting of mind occurs, and we have to move in a way that human feelings, they become more and more active. The 21st century is different from 20th century. Why and how? So I had asked these questions in another group, and just to save time, I am just giving their responses. That the expectations here, these are the responses of the participants from the workshop I took. In fact, our political systems have changed in 21st century. Prime Minister Modi, when he wants to talk to President of America, he tweets, and American president tweets back. So why can't a teacher do it? Twitter is available in every mobile phone. Demographic patterns have changed. There's the movie two states in every. There are a lot of Keralites in Punjab and a lot of Punjabis in Kerala, and a similar structure, similar state is there for every state. So we are now moving from macro strategies to microeconomic strategies. Technology is there. We think in terms of healthcare systems, and students' expectations and abilities are also very different. Students already have access to knowledge, to better teachers than us. Already make them our co-learners and start discussing. Tell them, see this video and then let's discuss. So the new game is emotions, creativity, imagination, ethics, empathy, values, compassion. These things will gain value in the coming 10 years. Technology will be something which everybody knows. So it will no longer be a game changer in 10 years. So we have terms like tacit knowledge, implicit knowledge, embodied knowledge, unknown knowledge, imaginative knowledge. So these are all coming. And non-routine work is the future. The routine manual things, they will start getting automated in every, from patient admission to many diagnostic processes, but the emotions, the man-to-man interactions, the body language, that will be the game changer. So this is the evolution of technology. This is our student who is being given more and more information every day, and he has the network teacher to his help, who is also connected through multiple possibilities. And we are moving towards a new intelligence called collaborative intelligence. It is more differentiated. A dental student can interact with some person in IIT Mumbai and discuss about creating metals for prostheses or dental prostheses or something else. However, here there is intrinsic motivation is needed, 24/7 work, and of course there is reciprocal learning. The teacher teaches the student teaches the teacher, and it is a continuous growth. We are moving towards a meeting of minds, one global mind, one national mind, one regional mind, one class mind. We are all interconnected through Excel sheets with a formula. You change the value in one Excel sheet, all the figures and all the class, cells changes. So if one person in the class becomes a champion, the total knowledge levels in the whole class changes. So these are knowledge management techniques which we all have to learn. Algorithms outperform human intelligence when it is not about understanding emotional states, intentions, interpretations. So we have to make sure that emotions are also taken care of. Mistakes are great. The more I make, the smarter I get. Let us have, as Dr. Shashidhar also said, let everyone, 50% in the mistakes can be done. You can kill the patient in the class. Make a culture of doing more and more mistakes. No problem in the class. And this is possible with technology. The student can take the examination 10 times, 100 times. So an end of routine does not mean end of human work. This is, although this is a graphic from Amazon where everything is robotized, but their workforce has increased. So different definitions of work will come in medical science also. We have to rehumanize, and also we have to move beyond hospitals towards society, as we have sent doctors to district hospitals. Geographical information systems have been deployed to fight COVID. The Arogya Setu is there. A humanistic approach to patient safety is needed, and we have to encourage more humanistic doctors, which are already empowered with technology. We have to facilitate more and more collaboration. Small groups, large groups using technology. We have to bring, I mean, I remember once student, Vinay sir once gave me an idea that some student comes, he goes to the ward right on the first day, and sitting in the ward, he is being connected through a network of students and teachers working at different places, and then a continuous discussion can take place. I mean, technology can easily enable this. Why do we need to say early clinical exposure means that the patient, they just see some video, or why can't they just go there and have their classes through technology in the ward or some community setting? So this is the early experience and longitudinal integration. Keys to the future learning are right in the beginning. They are given the keys, it's their choice which one they want to open. And of course, classroom learning, various longitudinal integration, early exposure to patient, or this is the hardens integration ladder we all know, but all this can be linked to technology, and we have to respond to the changing community needs. COVID was not there. So many other diseases. Tuberculosis can, more people die of tuberculosis every year, but we didn't use technology to the extent we are using COVID. The moment I get a jab for COVID vaccine, I get a certificate in 10 seconds in my mobile phone. It is connected. We have to respect for diversity in different thinking styles, language, ethnicity, etc. And this is again integrated case sheet, possible through take our Aadhaar card, link it to a allopathic case sheet, link it to a Ayush case sheet, link it to a homeopathic case sheet, a Siddha case sheet, and just link it. A simple Aadhaar card is sufficient. And we have even your previous records, X-rays, CT scans, slides, etc. Everything is available, linked to, and then at the back end, that data, huge data that comes, you start data mining on it, start using it to control disease. The real race is which country conquers Mars first. Everything else will happen. So there has to be student-driven learning with advanced technology and active learning with individualization. Most of the resources are already available. We just have to get out of the way. It is the teachers which are coming in the way. We just have to get out of the way and let the students. You know, in CBME, what I did, I just created a circumstance, made all the teachers come together, and I didn't know forensic medicine, but it was the best teachers which came together, and there were no marks. So everybody participated. Everybody did. And this was an experiment. I mean, all we had to just add the right oncogene in the system. All my projects are energy oriented through my learning in Energo Cybernetics. So, and everything else happens as a natural flow of energy. So we have to increase the social interactions, physical as well as through technology. So this solves a lot of infrastructure problems. And the only thing we don't have is peopleware. We have a lot of hardware, we have a lot of software. So trained people are the only requirement which needs to be fulfilled. So I want you to go to this QR code with your mobile phone, and this will take you to a website which is a directory of e-learning tools. It contains 2,500 tools. And for every possible need, you will have a link to the particular website. I'll just go live for a moment. Yes, this is the site. And there you can see a lot of, since time is less, I'm going back to the presentation. The only thing constant in life is change. We must accept change. We must anticipate change. And we must precipitate change. Thank you.